me to.
Shh, everybody, the music's going. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Alter Ego Podcast, episode 183. Back after a very long hiatus, but still very much happy to be back. I am your host, as always, Jack, here with you again. With me, as always, Mr. Ryan. How you doing?
What's happening? I'm swell. How are you?
Oh, so happy to hear your voice.
It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. Mr. Rhino up there in the Great White North, how you doing, bud?
It sounds like you're talking through a cell phone.
Does it?
Yeah.
A good service?
No.
Okay, good. Nello Agnello, the championship Eagle, who's very happy with his Philadelphia Eagles.
I would like to be referred to as champ.
Coming back. Well, we don't always get what we want now, do we? But returning to us, Mrs. Austin.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good.
It's been a hot little minute since you've been here with us.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You only get one group. Sorry.
That's fine.
Lots of things have been going on in our absence. All of us have life happening and other things that we needed to pay attention to. Can't really see it from the camera, but the studio got a nice little renovation. It no longer looks like a storage unit in here, despite what you see behind myself and Ryan. Either way, Mrs. Austin and I came in here and cleaned it up quite a bit. We're very happy with it. And that was one of the major issues. But now that it's less cluttered, we're here, we're back. And I'm going to say something controversial, and maybe so is the MCU. Maybe, guys.
Is it back? I'm ready.
We are kind of in a holding pattern, I think, with Marvel. Just to kind of jump right into it. Since we've been gone, there hasn't been a lot of content to watch. Right? I mean, we haven't had anything, no specials, no movies, no TV shows that we've missed.
Hold on.
That I can remember.
Yes, there is Captain America.
And Daredevil started.
Okay, guys, give me time. Okay, we make the cake. You got to start with getting the ingredients.
How about like some foreplay?
Just let it. Thank you. They're like, no.
Rhino and I are like fact checkers over here.
Are you pretending that we're recording like 3 months ago?
Jesus.
No, I'm not.
Let the man cook, as the kids say.
Thank you.
He's trying to prep some ingredients. These guys just want to put it all in a pot.
Well, that didn't make any sense. You said,
right,
you said since the last time we're here.
Hold on, son. Is Captain America still in theaters? Yes, it is. So that recently,
still recent,
has come out. It's still in theaters. I know not everybody at this table has seen it. I think only one has missed it.
I missed it.
Did you see it?
You know I ain't watching it.
You're not watching it?
Okay.
Why?
The 2-episode premiere of Daredevil has come out. I don't want to dive into what we think of those just yet. I think the three at the top and Mr. Nello can talk about Captain America a little bit.
Not much, but I haven't seen it.
But either way, we're not going to go into a full spoiler. We're just going to kind of talk about it a little bit. But you two have not seen it. And then
I seen Daredevil last night.
Okay. And this one saw Daredevil on the way home from Hollywood Studios today.
Yeah, I saw the first two, but I saw them like in passing because
her problem is we put it on when we're going to go to sleep, and she is really good at falling asleep. So I stay up and watch it. Anyway,
I
guys,
can see why you fell asleep though.
Really, really happy everyone's here.
Ouch.
So let's talk a little bit about the MCU before we get into everybody's topics, shall we? Where do we think we stand? And I actually think after we go with this, we're going to go right into Mr. Rhino's topic because I think his plays into really well with what we got going on here. So go ahead, Rhino, take it away.
Oh, I thought you were asking where the MCU is, where we think it is.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, all right. It's on the up. I think we're heading in the right direction. Captain America. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I thought Captain America was great. I thought it was exactly what it needed to be. It didn't do too much. It did enough to be a Captain America movie. They didn't, throw 1,000 cameos in there and try and play a bunch of wild storylines. It was exactly what it needed to be for a Cat movie. Right. And the first 2 episodes of Daredevil, I think, are going really good so far. So I think we're getting quality production again.
Nella, what do you think? You seem to have the counterpoint to the Captain America conversation
Captain
without
Ameri-
spoiling it.
I could get your whole reason for it. It's there. Captain America is there. I don't think it was like great. I don't think it was terrible. It was there. But Daredevil, I'm not saying it was awful, but Wilson Fisk in a therapy room.
Anyway, without spoiling it,
Oh,
Jesus.
I know. I'm so sorry. I just
Somebody who just recently saw both. What are your thoughts on the MCU as a whole currently right now?
As what?
Yeah.
As a whole?
No.
I think we're on the up.
As of where we're at right now.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, I think we're on the up. I liked Captain America. I thought it was good. I don't want to spoil it, of course, but there's some really like cool parts that happen throughout that movie.
Yeah.
It's very exciting, and it kind of keeps you on your not necessarily keeps you on your toes, but it's exciting. Like it's
Oh God.
Are we using anything from
What?
Captain America for the future of the MCU though? Like you
Absolutely.
guys who have seen it?
Absolutely we are.
Yes. Well, this one's not a spoiler, but Red Hulk is going to be back.
Right. He's in the marketing. If you're
Okay,
spoiled by
so
Red Hulk, I don't know what
Yeah, Red Hulk's not a spoiler. It can't be at this
Okay.
point.
That's
doesn't
I didn't
die
want to I
first.
didn't want to say it, but it's I thought that it was really good. Harrison Ford obviously is who he is, and I liked him in that role, of course. And Daredevil, I just watched those. I like them. I know that somebody in this room feels like it's cooking a little slow, but it's Born Again, just like you
Jack,
said.
you think it's cooking slow?
I do.
He thinks it's cooking slow. However,
What was
but
the suspense
it's Born
all about
Again.
then?
It's Born Again, and it's like there's you. If he's just we're not spoiling.
More like retired again.
Okay. All right.
Although,
I
before
get
you
your
go there,
sentiment.
can I actually interject?
Go, please
Because
do.
funnily enough,
Please do.
your boy has actually went back and watched The Punisher. I've been started to watch The Punisher.
Oh,
We said, hey, watch the new Daredevil, and he goes and watches the old Punisher.
I was already watching The Punisher, and this is what I was about to ask.
Completely different.
No, but not having watched the old Daredevil,
Okay.
will watching this one ruin anything?
No.
No.
Okay, so it's
No.
completely different. That's what I was wondering.
It's
I'm
not
if I'm watching
completely
The
different.
Punisher and going back through that, I don't want to.
if you don't watch
mess
the
up.
old Daredevil, the first two episodes probably won't hit home though.
So
Okay, so
Yeah, you're actually gonna miss out from not watching the old Daredevil. Sorry.
that's why I was asking. So that's why I
Yeah.
didn't watch this Daredevil yet, because I'm going to go back after I finish The Punisher and I'm going to watch Daredevil.
I'm going to sweep through this really quickly and just say I thought Captain America was a great movie.
Mhm.
It's something that I will definitely play the moment it comes out. It's a good one. Is it an all-timer? No, I didn't expect it to be. This needed to be Cap, and it was. This was Sam Wilson as Captain America. I know everybody in the Marvel community is jonesing. I mean, just chomping at the bit for more Avengers, for the X-Men to show up, for all these tie-ins. Well, he interacted with this person. Where is he? If you add too much of that, you don't give Captain America his movie. By the time we had Civil War, we already had Winter Soldier. We had the first Avenger. We knew Cap very, very well. So throwing all those extra elements in there worked for Chris Evans, Captain America. For this one, we don't know him. We know him as the Falcon. We've seen him in Captain America and the Winter Soldier in terms of the series. And I don't think we've spent enough time with Sam Wilson as a Captain America in that position. And I think this movie showed that really, really well. And that's all I'm going to say. Is it, like people like to do this. They like to say, well, in Thor, they did this. And in Iron Man, they did this. And you want all these elements that you love from all these other movies slammed into one mega movie. Like, oh, they learned from this. Why won't they do it again? Because it's old hat and every character's different. Like, you need to not sit and expect a 5-star frog splash out of every single movie that comes out. That's all I'll say.
So
Daredevil.
it was there.
Daredevil, it's good. It's good. I will watch it again. There are some when Thor: Love and Thunder came out. I have not watched that a second time.
Why
Who
would
would?
you?
I didn't watch Will There Be Carnage a second time either, and I won't watch the next Venom. It's just not for me. But anyway,
So real quick before you change the subject,
I'm going to Daredevil after this. So go ahead.
Okay. So I think we have to stop and remember, and I know that Cap we have now was Falcon, so he was a part of that kind of original crew.
Yeah.
But the whole first, I don't even know if we want to call it. I guess it's the whole first segment,
First act.
the first act of all the Marvel movies that we've seen so far. That it was like everything was a banger. It's like these characters are getting that character development, and they're getting all of that,
Right.
and then they're coming together as one big giant team. And it's like we're not. I think that's what Marvel fans are struggling with, is that we don't have that right now. Like, we don't have the consistency of like the same characters showing up in all these same movies, or they're all fighting for the same goal. I think that that's the one thing that is kind of missing, and that's why people are falling off of them, because it's harder to follow the tie-ins on this back nine or however many we're going to end up with in the future. But like everything we got up to Endgame, everybody was pretty much going for, it was all leading up to this one climax of the end of the Endgame. But nothing is like full circle right now, and I think that that's why people are struggling, because they all feel like one-off movies, and there's no big picture that we're seeing in the near future.
There's no continuous story,
right? And I know that we're getting there, because we want to get to that, that whole Marvel
Jonathan Majors thing threw a wrench into that, though.
The what?
The Jonathan Majors issue threw a wrench into that. That's why we haven't had the greatest continuity with the MCU.
That's
but
I'm
not going to argue that, but they're going to restore a little bit of that sense of continuity once they get Doomsday going.
But they did have a lot of story locomotion, if you will, in Captain America. I feel a lot of things that were brought up that you're like,
because I'm supposed to believe this guy's going to beat the Red Hulk, but he can't get a bank loan,
right?
Well, so the one thing, just really quick, the reason why this is going to tie in down the road is the individual character development that you're going to get from Captain America in this movie is going to apply big time to the Avengers movies, because what we're looking for is Cap to be the leader, right?
Yeah,
like he's Captain America. He's going to be the leader of everybody. So the character development he gets in this movie is extremely important to developing that storyline with him down the road.
For me, one of the reasons I'm not a big fan of this, I'm sorry, but if Captain America is supposed to be the leader, this guy can't get a bank loan. He's just Sam Wilson. He is a dude with a jetpack, bro.
You're not gonna let go of the bank loan.
Nah, bro. Where's that DEI when you need it?
I got you.
Like,
yeah.
Apparently they're on
on
it hard. But I'm supposed to believe this guy's supposed to stand up to some kind of world threat or do whatever. Like Spider-Man was working his ass over, and he was going light on him. I don't know.
I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this.
Like, you can practice throwing that thing.
And this is because we can't talk spoilers, that we can't really get into that. So I'm just going to jump into Daredevil.
Okay.
And say, no, sorry, because I was finishing that thought. I did not mean to cut you off, but we'll get back to it. So Daredevil, I think it's definitely, it's fine. It's Daredevil like we got in Netflix. It's cool. I think some of the shots are a little bit better. My problem with it, if I do have a problem with it, is hangover from the previous Daredevil and from Echo. My problem is with Wilson Fisk. I know that Vincent D'Onofrio is trying to go a certain direction with him. That direction just doesn't jive with me. It's just one of those things that when he's on screen, I'm like, okay. It's like that old meme of somebody poking it with a stick and going, do something. That's what I'm doing with Kingpin currently. But that could change. We are only 2 episodes in. And in terms of what's going on with Daredevil and the narrative, it's a great show. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm enjoying watching it. I can't wait to see what happens. But am I going to sit here and call this thing? This is before we jump into Rhino's thing. The savior of the MCU. No, Daredevil is not that. It's got the most views of any show. I wouldn't put too much stock into that because Daredevil's a known commodity. He's somebody who's coming back to the MCU. There's a lot of hype around it. Do I think
have Punisher too?
Right.
I think a lot of people are.
Do I think it's better than Loki season 1? No, but we're only 2 episodes in. Can't say anything. Do I think it's better than WandaVision? No, we're only 2 episodes in. There's a lot to unpack before we're going to sit here and crown the second coming of Marvel Jesus.
I agree with the Kingpin thing, and the only thing that's keeping me kind of interested in this is the fact that Matt Murdock is being played basically the same as in the Netflix series,
which is the same guy, same character. So that makes sense.
But you need that. If D'Onofrio can't get this Kingpin to make it resign, like, I get it. There's certain things you see at the end of episode 2 where you're like, okay, maybe you get in there.
Yeah.
You're just trying to sell me this like, hey, look at this carrot, and then boom, here comes the jackhammer to the face. But until then, I agree with Jack.
So 100%. We'll see.
Basically, the Kingpin and Kingpin.
In my perception of Kingpin and who I think Kingpin is, no. But let's get into our first segment of the evening, shall we? I think we're going to kick it over to Mr. Rhino, and you're going to lead us into this new Brave New World.
Jesus, the worst dad joke of all time. There was this segment's kind of based off of a story that we had. I think we posted it a couple days ago, where the Russo brothers were having an interview about the upcoming Doomsday movie, and they dropped how Robert Downey Jr. is actually writing the story for his character. So it got me going on, you get all of the Reddit comment threads, and you get the people on Twitter who are always down in the MCU. I think a lot of these people do it just
to always right about everything, by the way. Everybody on the internet is always right about everything, and their opinion's the only one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You see a lot of people who trash this movie because it's almost like the cool thing to do now with the MCU is trash on it. And I hate that, because I think the vast majority of bad reviews on these movies are because of that. But, you see a lot of the comments like this is going to ruin RDJ's legacy. Like there's no way he'll play Doom as good as he played Tony Stark. I think that this is actually going to cement his legacy further in the MCU. The reason why Tony Stark was such a great character with Robert Downey Jr. is because he put the passion into it. He had moments where he was taking salary cuts so he could get bigger name actors in the movie because he knows it's going to make him a better actor. You get the other story where he's actually coaching Tom Holland in scene, like he's telling him how to act the scene to get more out of him. And now you see he's writing his own storyline. If he's still putting that kind of passion into this character, it's not because he wants the bag or he just wants to be on screen. Like, I think he genuinely wants to play Doom, and I think he's going to play it just as good as he played Tony Stark.
Now, if I could clarify something real quick, Robert Downey Jr. is writing the backstory for his version of Doom.
Yes,
he's
for the Doom that he wants to play.
Right, but he's not writing the script.
Sorry, I forgot to say backstory. Yeah. No, he's not writing the script. He's just writing the story for his character. Yes, sorry.
Well, to piggyback on what you just said, I think we all feel that way when it comes to our characters that we love. We've seen it on both sides of the spectrum, right? When you have like Henry Cavill playing Geralt, and you see how much he loves that character, and it comes through in the final product in terms of his representation, just as an example. And then you have the antithesis of that, where you have Woody Harrelson playing Carnage, and it's nothing like you feel that it should be, and it feels like it's a paycheck, and it feels like it's somebody who doesn't care about a character a third as much as you do, right? So that's just, I think that's good for him. But you think this is, are you talking just about RDJ's legacy or the
I think there's a lot of people either worried or concerned that it's we look at Robert Downey Jr. as like the MCU god, right? Like he's the one. When you think of MCU characters, he's probably the first name to pop in your mind.
He's got to be at this point.
RDJ.
One of the biggest arguments I've seen is like, he's just here to get another $50 million check. Like he's just here to go through the motions, stuff like that. And I don't think that's the case. I think he's going to play Doom just as good as he played Tony Stark.
But don't you feel it's watered down? Like you I don't know.
That's another thing.
Characters, and if you're going to associate him as Tony Stark, and I'm not saying he's not capable of being Doom in any way, shape, or form. I'm always going to see Tony Stark. I'm always going to see Iron Man. I don't care what you make him look like.
So what's watered down about it? What's watered down about it?
He'll always be Tony Stark. He will always be Iron Man. I don't care what face paint, what you do with his face CGI. To me, that's just an iconic character. To play another iconic character on the flip of a coin that isn't even like an evil variant of Tony Stark just seems like
hold on.
It is an evil variant of Tony Stark.
Right, but I was going to say a lot of that is not on the screen yet. I agree with you. I am among the worried camp. I love Robert Downey Jr. I've seen him do great things. I've also seen Dr. Dolittle. I've seen a lot of things that he's done that don't pan out. I mean, great actors don't make great movies. That's the point of it. At the end of the day, the writing needs to be there. And if it is an evil version of Tony Stark, I think the way that they're probably going to end up going with the news of Chris Evans being signed to that movie and all these other people is they're going to be doing evil Avengers versus the regular Avengers. And to me, that's dumb.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I would love to see a true blue variant of Doctor Doom that is not Robert Downey Jr. because I think Nello's right, because you think about the common fan, they're all going to look and go, that's Iron Man. What's he doing there? So I think they explain it. I think they embrace the he's Iron Man looking. You're right, because Spider-Man's going to be there. If he sees his face, he's going to go, "What the hell is this?" So there's going to be some recognition, and I am going to trust in the process, because one of the last times I was like, this dude is going to bomb, there's no way I'm going to watch it, was Heath Ledger as the Joker, and look how wrong I was there. So I'm going to give RDJ the benefit of the doubt, because he knows how rabid MCU fans are. He's been through it more than anybody. So I don't think he would do this for a check. I really don't. Although, granted, it's a big check, but I think RDJ is going to do a good job, hopefully as a limited variant of Doctor Doom.
Well, it's just the two Avengers movies that he's doing, and that's it.
Right.
So he's not going to continue his particular Doom story is not going to continue.
I mean, it's RDJ, so we're not really worried about him acting as a whole, really. I mean, I'm not. I mean, he's going to get on there. He's probably going to crush being.
So, do you agree with Rhino, or do you agree with me and Jack that you're a little bit perplexed with the role?
I am more so worried about the story and storyline. That's one of my biggest issues right now I've had with the MCU, and I've said that since the last time, since it started, since it ended, since Endgame. Yeah. You know what I mean? The way they ended it, didn't care for it. And all these new movies, don't care for it. The only thing I care about right now is Spider-Man. It's the only thing that's panned out, and it's still interesting to me.
Yeah, and Spider-Man's going to take a major part in that. I mean, I still hope they go through with the old man Logan and Tobey Maguire and the Battle World thing and bring back some of these OGs to give them their day and then move on. That's all I want.
And honestly, feeling RDJ almost feels like a step back.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, he went through the whole thing of rewriting the end and making him Iron Man to snap his fingers and be the hero and be gone.
This is not that Iron Man. That's important to say.
I understand that he's not that Iron Man, but then just to even put him back on the screen again in that capacity is just like, oh, okay,
I don't really care about evil Avengers, and you make a good point about that. I don't really care about.
So what you're saying is it doesn't greater Robert Downey Jr.'s legacy in your mind. It dampens the Iron Man legacy.
Waters it down
a lot more. Yeah,
gotcha.
Iron Man more so. I mean, RDJ's a great actor.
Yeah, yeah.
He can do movies, and they can be terrible, but he probably didn't act bad in them. They just were shitty scripts. You know what I mean? Like,
Dr. Dolittle is trash, though. Watch it.
Did you guys see though? This was a little disappointing because the plot for Kang Dynasty leaked. It didn't. Well, I guess it wasn't a leak. I mean, they actually talked about it. But did you guys see what it was? Like what the movie was supposed to be?
No.
A little bit, yeah. But go ahead.
So basically, they went off of the anchor bean storyline that we got out of Deadpool. You know, like each universe has an anchor bean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what was supposed to happen? So you remember the story we had where Spider-Man was going to be the leader or like the main guy in Kang Dynasty. So that was actually true. So Spider-Man was supposed to be the anchor bean of the regular continuity, Earth 616. Tobey Maguire Spider-Man was that anchor bean, and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was that anchor bean, and then there was a couple other ones. I think Hugh Jackman would have came back as an anchor bean, and basically they were supposed to, whatever they were doing, whatever their objective was, they end up failing, and that's when all of their individual timelines collapsed quickly.
Yeah,
and then that's how Battleworld becomes.
I still think we're gonna get the Battle World just in a
we are, yeah.
But yeah, that's great. I'm gonna side with Ryan on this one. Disney, I think, shot it too early to fire Majors. I think Majors would have been an excellent big bad evil guy for this series of films, but hey, that's not for me to decide.
I just want to say one thing. Are we happy with Marvel's direction so far?
Absolutely, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I think we did talk about this, but Deadpool and Wolverine was fantastic. I thought that was great. And I think that also helps set up the MCU and another major character, because now the next time we see Deadpool, what he's going to be doing is he's going to be on a phone on Tinder and swiping right on heroes that he wants and left on heroes that he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just going to be like, that energy brought to the MCU is going to be wild. And I know they've paid him so much money. They really need to use him like they did in Deadpool and Wolverine. Less is more with Deadpool.
Less is more.
I think that that Deadpool Wolverine really set us up to see the multiverse in a very broad spectrum, because I feel like people who don't really know much about Marvel and the multiverse, and I know like Doctor Strange brought that in too, but some people who just don't really know that Marvel is such a vast universe get confused with movies like Doctor Strange and in episode or like shows like Loki. Not necessarily, but I feel like Deadpool and Wolverine really brought it down to see it a lot more parallel, if that makes any sense. Like it could be confusing if you don't know that going into it, and I think that Deadpool Wolverine really brought that to a screen that made it really understandable.
It did the best job of representing the multiverse out of any movie so far.
Exactly. That's pretty much what I was trying to say.
Right. So Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was chaotic, and that was, intentionally chaotic. But for them to literally sit there and go, "Okay, Deadpool, this is your universe. This is the shit that happens here, and you're gonna have to go to other universes to find Wolverine." And in each one, you're like, oh, because then that's what I loved about it. And one of the best lines to do all that is when Wolverine's like, they didn't accept you at the Avengers or the X-Men, and they'll take fucking anybody. So that lets you know that in his universe, the Avengers are definitely a thing.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool when they finally circle that wagon again. That being said, let us lead into gently Nello, who we've given a little bit of a longer leash anymore. We're going to let him have his own segment. Guys, listen, I apologize.
I haven't even started.
But he's going to go into
apologizing, and I didn't even open my mouth yet.
We're going to have his section, and then we're going to take a little break. So, Nello, please, everybody, sign of the cross here.
I'm excited for this, dude. I'm excited.
Let's hear it. Here we go. I'm building the story. You are at Nellis Air Force Base in 1994, and you leave the base and you're going down a dirt road, which is like a testing facility, and all of a sudden you see a tall, big-eyed, no-eared, bluish skin, non-human entity standing in the middle of a field. No. You didn't even let me finish.
No,
you didn't even let me finish.
Keep going.
The guy stops.
Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, right?
No, not quite. I mean, come on. This guy has a little bit of credibility. He was on Rogan. His story's been out there for a while.
The blue guy?
Yeah. No. The blue guy, we don't know who he is yet. We haven't met him yet. Guys, this is ridiculous. Let's just go. So just go with me. So this man, Jason Sands, claims that at Nellis Air Force Base in 90, between 91 and 94, I don't remember the date, he talked to a non-human entity who was looking for a certain metal to fix his ship to go back home, called Tritium, something along these lines.
Unobtainium.
And he thought, Jason Sands thought that he talked about
unobtainium. But this little rock goes for $30 billion a kilo.
Can we let him go?
God
please?
damn.
Sorry.
These
Hold on. Hold the GD phone. Did you just ask us to not interrupt Nello?
Me?
This guy is breathing and goes, hold on a second. And he's got to get another thought in the middle of his breath. No. There will be no grace given to Nello for interrupting.
I am intrigued. He's talking about something that is bizarre.
This person, Jason Sands, had a conversation with this alien entity. And he was speaking words, but he couldn't understand them. And they spoke telepathically, which is insane. Now, other people were there to see him. My question to you is, number one, are we stopping in the middle of this field with the blue guy with big eyes and no ears coming up to you dressed in complete military fatigues? And number two, is there any possibility that there could be truth to this story?
So was the blue man dressed in military fatigues?
He was.
I'm trying to figure out which part is the most bizarre.
And they were super clean military fatigues. They weren't like scuffed up boots and like.
Were they like U.S.
dirty
military?
Yeah, they were U.S. military. I mean, he's on a Nellis Force Base, so he's on a military Air Force base. And when he said that I need this medal, and he pointed towards the mountain where the base really was, he claims that the alien entity told him, "I'm not talking to those assholes up there," and he made it seem like he was disgusted with them because he knew that they were bad people. So then he led him to the university to get some rock, and then they just disappears out into the distance.
I know it's back in 1994, but I need that man's weed plug, bro.
I'm just saying he was on Rogan. It was a very interesting. It's a very interesting episode. I'm just saying, what are the possibilities it's true? And he gave him his jacket too, because he thought he was cold because he was blue. It looked like hyperthermic.
Sure.
Can I really quick? I just want, for the audience sake, I am very interested in the story, but for the audience sake, Rogan is also the same man who had a gentleman on his show who refused to tell stories about mushrooms he was finding in his backyard because the government was trying to kill him.
he was talking about portobello mushrooms and some of the things it does, like
If not cooked
psychologically, right?
correctly.
And how it could be harmful and
Cool.
dangerous to people. And since they're sold in such mass production, he didn't want to talk about it because he's just like you said, he thought the government was going to kill
And it
him.
wasn't the first person who's gone on there and been persecuted for what he said. But again, you're taking it off topic. This is a non-human entity who had a conversation telepathically with another human being. My question to
Allegedly.
you, again, allegedly, there's no proof of saying yes or no, on an Air Force base where he said that the military personnel were a bunch of assholes and didn't care. Now, my question to you is there any truth to this guy, or is this guy just a whack job?
Okay, I'll let everyone else go first.
I mean,
Come on, help me out here.
Listen,
Is there any way that this non-human entity could have communicated with this person telepathically?
listen.
Well,
I believe in a lot of crazy shit. Okay. It doesn't take a whole lot for me to be like, yeah, that's probably real. This sounds a little Fruit Loopy. However,
Okay.
however, my dad, I grew up in a really small town in Pennsylvania, and my dad has told me stories about a underground government associated organization
I've heard this story.
that they used to, my dad used to own a pizza shop, and it was one of the only pizza shops in the whole town, aside from like a Pizza Hut. But he used to deliver pizzas to this place, and they would have to drive down basically to the opening. It was as if it was in the middle of the desert or some large field, and all of a sudden he would just drive down like a small ramp,
Can you name me this famous desert in Pittsburgh?
it's not a desert. I'm just saying it's like in the middle of nowhere is all I'm saying.
Okay.
I know.
Sorry,
not
you said like a
sorry.
desert.
I
was like,
know.
hold on.
I know. I think that's just what I envision.
Okay,
Because
good.
he said when he says there's literally nothing around, I think of like just sand and nothing else.
It has no ears.
But anyway, there would be a ramp that you wouldn't be able to see unless you were like right on top of it, and then he would drive down about 50 yards. She's crying. Drive down about 50 yards, and then they would stop you and they would not let you go in any further. And it was like the entire military organization basically was underground, and nobody knew what the hell they did there. It was like a research center, but nobody knew anything about it. And it's probably real.
well, yeah, but underground bases are definitely real.
Absolutely. I mean, and think about it. This wouldn't be the first time that we could have gotten some sort of technology from a UFO craft or foreign.
Oh, I
craft.
110% believe that.
I mean, we got the internet after Roswell.
Comes from aliens. I'm not even gonna front on that. Like that's just all aliens, bro. I don't care what nobody says.
There's 100%. It's mathematically impossible for there not to be other intelligent life somewhere in the universe. If we keep talking about how endless the universe is, it takes light 80 billion years to travel from one side to the other, then you can't tell me we're the only planet that has life.
What if they're under the water and they're already here? And
I believe 100% that we've been visited by UFOs, but I can promise you this: I doubt that anybody knows about it.
Nobody?
I think people know about it.
I think that if aliens had the technology to make it here, we would not know that they were here.
Okay. I'm gonna piggyback on that excellent point, because that's what I was going to say. You have this, let's just assume that we are primitive monkeys at this stage, right?
Bro,
Because
we
if
are,
they
though.
can get here and we can't get there, they're already technologically, intellectually, most likely spiritually, in terms of the electromagnetic spectrum and all the stuff that they could know. And you mean to tell me that one of these sentient beings decided to get out and hot-foot it and go talk to this guy on the side of the road who has this supreme intelligence, and stops one of the fucking idiots and goes, "Hey, I need this special rock. I was going to talk to those guys, but they were so mean, and they told me they weren't going to give me my rock, but let's go over there. We'll go over there and get the rock." Get the fuck out of here. That's like, this story sounds like when your child is telling you, "Well, I don't know what happened to the vase," and it's on the ground, shattered in a million pieces, and they've been the only one home for an hour. You're like, "I don't know what happened there. It was crazy."
I asked those guys for rock, and they were mean, and then you came here, and then I was like, we should go here, and then we went there, and then the rock was there.
Right.
We don't
like,
know.
This is the amount of that's the severity of story that this guy is telling.
We don't know if he actually got the rock. He pointed him towards the
What's it called? What's the rock called again that he added?
Tritium.
Oh, so this guy who has the ability to speak to somebody telepathically is going to sit there, and if I could speak telepathically, maybe I could do some more shit telepathically and look around and go, I know who knows about what is this stupid shit again?
Oh, Jason Sand's encounter with a
no. What's the name of the rock?
Oh, Tritium.
You know, it's called Tritium. 4 out of 5 dentists recommended.
Okay, I just want to say there's so much shit that's hidden by the government that we've been so like I don't know what to believe and what not to believe ever, because there's so much shit that is hidden from the government in the galaxy, the universe, the entire fucking.
We can't know all the answers. It's literally impossible to know all the answers.
I'm just saying that I 1,000%, and I think I've even said it on this show before, I believe aliens are real. The mathematics just that there's no way it doesn't. There's no way that there are not
living organisms
elsewhere that are more than likely much more advanced than us. And if they have the technology to cross 80 billion light years or whatever to get here, they're not asking podunk Jason on the side of the road for if he knows where this rock capable of initiating space flight is.
Well, here's another thing too that doesn't make sense. He's talking to him about the rock, asking him about it, and then he knows where it's at. The alien knew it was at the university.
Jason Sand's like, well, maybe you can go to like the geology department or the metallurgy department at Colorado.
Wait, so hold on. Think about that. Maybe you can go over there and find the exact rare, precious gem that you need to power your interstellar spacecraft.
Assuming it's interstellar, it could also be interdimensional. We just don't.
That would be really amazing. Completely
we don't want to rule that out.
We don't want to, but we will rule out Jason's dumbass story. I'm sorry. The first one is there's no way. The moment that guy starts telling that story, I'm like,
It's been corroborated by others. I'm not saying it's true. They could have been eating.
Nello, I could go out tomorrow and say that you ate your own shit at Jack's house, and he could corroborate it.
After the Super Bowl, because if it was after the Super Bowl, I actually believe that could have happened.
This is the intergalactic Me Too movement. I saw it too. I did. I was over there at Daryl's house. We was burning some tires, and some bitch, if the blue feller didn't walk up and ask about beryllium. I said, I don't know what that is, but they got a geological department over there at the SMU, and you can go on over there and talk to Bill. Tell Bill you know me. But
I think what I'm like, you made corroborated this actual incident. So like somebody at the university maybe talked to, like, I'm talking, if there was somebody with, what's his name? Jason Sands. Okay. If there was somebody else with him that was also saying X, Y, and Z happened, then I probably wouldn't believe that. But if it's
hold on, you mean the blue boy? He was up there at Sunoco about an hour ago getting him a Red Bull.
He actually came out and corroborated and said, this guy, Blue, whatever you want to call him, came up to me and asked for the special medal so that he could fucking power a spaceship. And it's like the same sort of situation. Then sure, I'd believe it. But it was also how long ago? That was 94, so 21 fucking years ago.
There's no way to corroborate it.
Okay, last question, and I promise if this blue alien does exist. Okay. By the way, I think he's a big fan of the show, and I know that
I'm sure he is. And he's probably like, guys, Jason was so full of shit.
And he comes and communicates to you, and he warms your heart, and he tells you who the mean people are. Would you go for a ride on his spaceship?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Fuck yes. I know you guys would.
Absolutely, I would.
I'd be there in a heartbeat. Vamonos.
I'd be like, just let me go grab my water bottle. And fuck it, I'll go.
Yeah.
You know, the most unbelievable part of that story is he's a shapeshifter, but he forgot ears. Come on, bro.
He's
going to a planet. Like that's like video games. You walk up, you scan the planet, you know what's on there.
Yeah.
He's got that sort of technology. He didn't need to go talk to Jason. Come on.
Have you guys ever seen the TV show Resident Alien?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can believe shit like that happens. You know what I mean? Alien pops in.
So for my next segment, I'm going to let one of you guys choose. You'd let me choose the craziest theory, just any conspiracy out there that isn't like insane or politically charged. I will look it up and we will talk about it on the next segment.
We're not doing politics on this show. So don't send any political stuff. We're not going to get into it. That being said, that's a great idea, Nello.
You're welcome.
Fire off on all the socials for all the the wild conspiracy theories that you'd like to send Nello down at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh,
Because
That
we'll
being
go.
said, let's take
I'm gonna
a
go.
quick break, and then we've got 2 more segments we're going to go over, and then we're going to get out of your hair and on to next week. So take a quick break. Be right back. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, back from our break, episode 183. We're so happy to be back. We're so happy that you're here with us, joining us. It's really great.
Did you tell everybody about the new logo?
I did not. So if you look on all of our socials, we have new logo artwork with the team over at Lunartic Studios who did all the stuff for Seven Land Productions. A lot of fan art and stuff that's come out from them. Fantastic. They did us a solid here at Alter Ego and gave us a new look. Although we all have, not all, one of us has a Nello stand up.
I got you.
There it is. We've got the old school artwork still on our Threadless shop. If you're looking to sport some Alter Ego gear, it's on there. There will be new branded stuff in the shop very, very soon. But it's a brand new look. Ryan's not super happy with it. He misses the OG. And if you want to support the OG, we still love you. I still do.
Retro.
I still support the retro. I know Rhino's got some retro gear up there
I
somewhere.
just bought the retro T-shirt
So did I.
and got it in the mail last week.
I dig
Need
it.
to buy another one.
I dig it.
I
So
got
he
a
got
retro
it and
sweater on
chose
the way.
not to wear it. Ha!
I do like Megan's idea for hoodies. Just throwing it out
I got a
there.
crew neck on the way, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's all I wear now because I'm like mom and shit.
I would
You
get
want to hear a funny story real quick as to why I'm not wearing it?
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So I'm going on vacation a couple weeks, right?
Right.
And whenever I buy new clothing close to vacation time,
Oh, yeah.
I don't wear it until I go on vacation. It's off limits because
That's
when
yeah,
I'm out of town on vacation, my shirt has to be crisp,
brand new.
But are you sure you want
fresh off the rack, crisp.
Heard.
Are
I'm
you
with you.
sure you want to wear the Alter Ego shirt? You're gonna get mugged wherever you go because our rabid fans are everywhere.
That's right. That's
So wait a minute, why would they mug somebody who's wearing a shirt of the show they're a
Because they're
fan
gonna
of?
want to touch the great
It was,
late
it was a
Rhino.
friendly mug.
They're gonna
Hey,
want.
look, he's wearing our favorite show shirt. Get him.
Let's touch him.
Come on,
They're gonna want to
boys.
touch you. They're gonna want to rub that beautiful head. I would want to rub it if I.
Honestly,
saw you
I
in
don't
public.
think Rhino would fight that at all. We have different stylists. I grab whatever I can grab. I match however many shirts to however many days. Same with pants and underwear.
Or someone packs for him.
Oh, dude, I always thought
that
that-
also happens. And then I go, what the fuck is this? And they end
No.
up just wearing the same shirt 4 days.
I don't ever pick bad things.
Anyway, moving
I'm
on.
very meticulous about my travel habits, so
My
Okay.
suitcase. just
You're
ends
very
up-
meticulous about your travel anyway, and about your just schedule in
Your
general.
itinerary is
Yeah,
very
he's
airtight.
borderline serial killer, but I don't know where the bodies are buried.
it's what
Or do
happens when you have OCD. It's just, you got to be.
Okay, so Ryan and I's topics kind of intermingle.
Oh, I think they're gonna intermingle.
Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
I love you. I love him.
Who's gonna show?
And I'm
who's
not
first?
afraid to tell a man that I love him. Go ahead,
As I
Ryan.
turn 40 and get to playing games, as I don't know if many of you know, but Monster Hunter,
Wilds.
Wilds just
Oh my
dropped.
god, I'm so glad to hear you talk about this. Go.
and you know me, I put in over 2,000 hours in the last one. Starting this one, my old ass, I'm like, bruh, I don't know.
Oh snap!
And I want to say it's because of like, honestly, fatigue, bro. Like
Are you
doing the same thing over again that I just did for 2,000 hours in the game before, and them not respecting my time for doing it. Like,
Oh,
I'd love to see a company that finally just makes a story and then just like keeps it going, like from where you,
you mean
where
like a
you
live
ended,
service game?
or like one that's done it from the jump. And I hate to do this, but I kind of got to give flowers to Fortnite. Like, as much as I hate the game, it hasn't changed in what 7 years. They've been just building off of this
I have been
Maps and
enjoying-
building onto it. Yeah.
I have
and
been
then
enjoying
just
Fortnite.
playing the shit
too.
out of it. Like after Call of Duty when it's come out, and all the money I spent on skins and my John McClane thinking I was gonna have years to play with it, do whatever, and then they just take it away and give me some new shit that I don't like. And then now they're finally, after 4 years of us asking, you know that map you guys really like? Yeah, Verdansk, we're gonna bring it back now. I don't give a shit now. I'm on to something different. Like I'm past that.
What's the topic in general?
Just I don't. Wow.
What would you title this segment?
What did you title?
I was gonna say where.
Game is what I called it
Geriatric gaming.
because I'm too old for this shit. I don't have time to sit there and play the same thing for 2,000 hours to get the same result. I mean,
So you did not like Monster Hunter.
oh, I didn't say that. You watch your fucking mouth.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh
I
my
didn't like
god. Okay.
because I'm going to do the same thing. As in doing it, like
Wow.
You're gonna
Like, hold on,
begrudgingly do it.
so. No, like you playing Diablo. You guys would be like, oh, I just love to have my old character just to play this and harder stuff now. Like I don't necessarily need to run this story with my old guy. Like that'd be cool, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Instead of having to grind again for shit that you probably already had that did the same thing in the last one.
That is true.
That is kind of
That's why I don't play Diablo anymore.
see. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of my point. Is like you get rid of things that I've worked so hard to do. Like in the last one, I fought and bro, I threw myself at the last monster, Fatalis, for fucking weeks on end to solo him. Finally beat him, get his gear. The best of the best, and I've had it for forever. And now I got to start all the way over again,
Damn.
doing nothing.
God, it's
to
just
get
like
to
you
that
got to play
point
a
again.
new game.
See, I'm the exact. I respect your opinion a lot because I understand where you're coming from. I'm the exact opposite of that mindset, though.
Really? Okay.
I guess the best analogy I can make with that is Destiny. You know, Destiny 1, we grinded for years. The raids every Tuesday, we would be on Destiny every Tuesday with a fire team, knocking out all 5 or 6 raids, doing all the nightfalls, doing all that stuff. You build your gear up, but then Destiny 2 comes out. You didn't get to carry all of that special like 1 in 1,000 gear with you, but that's what made Destiny 2 cool at first. Was all right, cool. It's brand new stories, brand new gear, brand new weapons. I get to grind and do the same thing over again.
I can see it.
And that's I mean, Destiny 2 obviously went down the tubes for obvious reasons, but that's what I enjoyed about it.
What new game has come out where you're like, damn, I really enjoyed playing this, or damn, this was a good game?
God of War.
Did you like Starfield?
Not really new, but I get
Isn't that
what
what
you're
it's
saying.
called?
Relatively new.
Starfield.
Was a early. Oh, actually, that was the hype train that nobody
Nobody
on.
picked up. Yeah.
It was.
I liked it at first, but it was just way too slow.
What was
It
that other one?
Way too monotonous.
Oh, Helldivers.
Helldivers.
Was the last really good one.
Yeah.
Honestly,
That's a dope game. That's a dope game.
that's
still
one that
just a
doesn't
time killer,
get enough
though.
love, and it is a time killer.
But that's all it's meant to be, though. They're not trying to be anything other than just a time killer.
right.
When's the last single player, non-multiplayer, just like good game that you just got into and submersed like you're
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers,
Gears 5 for
Gears
me.
5,
God of War would have been mine for that.
You said single player?
just like something that doesn't have
Or something that
multiplayer.
doesn't require
Or-
everybody. So I guess Monster Hunter would count for you because
I
you
guess
played a lot
Monster
of
Hunter
that
come for
solo.
you.
Yeah.
I would have to go with Red Dead 1 or 2.
I did play Red Dead 2 and
Red Dead 2
1
is a top 10 game of all time.
I don't see any other like single player game where it's like I'm so captivated in the story I got to play forever. Red Dead, you just kept playing because you liked the story and you can
Yeah.
go off and do whatever.
I
you
can name
wanted.
some
That's
for you.
probably
I mean,
Breath of
you
the
played
Wild for me.
Diablo.
Yep.
You did the
played some
Hogwarts, which
Diablo.
I don't think that one lasted.
Hogwarts
super
Legacy.
long.
I did not end up going too far into that one because to me, at the end of the day, the powers got really limited, the activities got
Yeah.
really limited, and like the story, I
Same
kind of
thing
was
for
like,
Dungeons
I
and
can
Dragons.
see.
That was also right when we got into Fortnite, though, too.
Oh yeah. Well, you know the one that I actually recently re-downloaded because I want to spend that amount of time with it on is what Megan just brought up, and that's Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh.
I played a little bit of it and got really frustrated because I did something that I always say don't do, and it's like treating D&D like a video game, because you can win everything without ever hurting anybody or doing anything. But when I went into it, I had the video game mentality. I'm supposed to be able to sneak through here. The dice weren't kind. I was supposed to be able to do this, but it's not video game logic. So I'm going to give it another try, see how it goes. But as of right now,
You just
we're
wanted
talking
some
about
bare cheeks.
geriatric
Oh,
gaming.
snap.
That's right. I just wanted to have sex with the bear man.
What a lead-in.
Is Marvel Rivals. And I think this plays into what you're talking
That was
about,
something I was going to touch on too.
because Rhino and I have played an exorbitant amount of this game
Will tonight.
for people with jobs and kids and families. We've played a lot.
Truly.
But compared to some of these other no life, touch grass nerds out there in the world, and some of the mechanics that they can do in these games. This is when we'll sit there and have this honest to God conversation over comms that Ryan's brought up. Is like, are we just too old? Are we just too old to be able to hang with some of these kids? Because some of these guys will jump on here and play Spider-Man, and I don't even pick Spider-Man because I can barely swing out of the spawn. And these dudes are freaking Neo and the Matrix all over the game, destroying everyone. And I'm like, first of all, I would get dizzy watching your gameplay.
It's cross-plat, correctly?
Yeah.
So
no, not in competitive.
Is cross-plat, just not in competitive.
Okay.
But we don't play anything other than competitive. So technically it's only console. So it is cross-plat. We'll play PlayStation or whatever mediums have it. We just don't play PC.
Respect.
Yeah, big respect. And there's a lot of things Marvel Rivals has done. And it's okay. I don't want to cut off your segment. You're good?
You're good.
We're
Bro.
good.
Go into it.
That
Like,
brings into my
go.
segment here. And mine was originally going to be titled, the whole title of the episode, The Death of Blizzard. Right? Because Blizzard has always had these really iconic IPs that have been out for a really, really long time, known for their polish, for their depth, and all this kind of stuff. And I was playing the crap out of Diablo
StarCraft
4. Well, StarCraft isn't a thing anymore, really.
It is
unless on PC.
It was on console too.
Do you remember earlier when I was like, don't get mad at me for interrupting Yellow because he interrupts everybody? Where's my fucking mute button? Shut up.
Verbal timeout.
Anyway, yeah, verbal timeout for Nello. Where are you? You're number 2, I think.
You just muted yourself.
I did, but not anymore. I'm good. Okay, so
Am I okay?
we were playing Diablo, right? Great game, Diablo 4. Then Path of Exile 2 comes out. Everybody jumps over to Path of Exile 2. They're loving it. It's Diablo's dead. You look at the reviews on any gaming purchase of Steam, whatever. All the reviews for Path of Exile 2 say Diablo 4 is dead. Don't play Diablo 4 anymore. And then Rhino and I, you want to talk about 2,000 hours, Overwatch. He and I have put in combined over 2,000 hours on Overwatch. I don't know how many hours I got, but it's close to 2,000. And I have
got a lot
played
of time on there too.
Crap out of Overwatch. And then Marvel Rivals comes out. That is another hero-based shooter. And I'm like, man, Blizzard just ain't cutting it. And this is at the time, 3 weeks ago that we were talking about starting to redo the show? And I was like fully in on it because I was playing Path of Exile and I was playing Rivals. And Blizzard was hardly in my game queue at all. And I thought, Blizzard's dead, man. They got too many competitors doing the right thing. Too many competitors doing exactly what they do, but better. Oh, you want to talk now?
Oh, I was going to
say please.
I noticed
Please.
that you guys said you had uninstalled it, but then I realized I was looking. I saw you guys re-download Overwatch 2.
We
And
did.
this is one of the things I kind of wanted to lead into as you're talking about the death of them too, is as cool as Marvel Rivals was, I downloaded it. I started to practice to go and play it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it felt.
Agreed.
It didn't feel like intuitive polished. It didn't feel great.
Okay.
Agreed.
Like I'm like, this does not feel super clean. Like
Not smooth.
Overwatch, that's polished. That feels so good to play to do that. Like I couldn't get into Marvel Rivals to even go into a game. Like if I was gonna play, I was like, I'll probably play with the Punisher. Easy. Like,
Easy,
you know,
yeah, easy, great. Adds value in almost every comp in the game. He's really like the Soldier 76. He's the most versatile hero that you can just pick up and play. If you want to play this hero shooter, go with Punisher. He's great. Nobody's ever going to be like, get off the Punisher unless you're not doing great in competitive, in which case you'll hear about it. But other than that, go Punisher. Sorry, continue. Ryan.
Yeah, no, and like that's kind of my point too. Is like anybody else that I tried to play didn't feel really good, or it felt really kind of complicated. Like in order to play them, it just didn't feel good. Like playing Overwatch, you kind of get the idea of how to play different characters and what they do. Some of these alts and some of the things, the way they moved, I'm like, bro, I don't know how I'm supposed to maneuver with this. Like you're talking about Spider-Man. Like I was like, what do I call the? How do I really maneuver? How do I play this?
Right.
It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like. I don't know, like even the Hulk, I'm like, bro, like he doesn't feel good. He doesn't feel like a Ryan. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just not as polished.
That there. So I think I have a little bit there. Is you're trying to look for comparables
exactly
from other heroes, and it's just not there. Marvel Rivals did a good enough job of making almost the identical hero, but not.
Yeah.
So there's things that are different about them. But that was going to be my point, is Blizzard in that span of 3 weeks proved me wrong. That Blizzard is not dead, not by a long shot, just because of the amount of polish that their games have. And I don't know what it is, but even visually, looking at Diablo 4 right next to Path of Exile 2, and you'd be like, this one's clearly better. It's got more.
It's different
Is
art
it like
style, though. It's an
design?
even different
Is it
art
like
Yeah.
design or the way that it's developed, or
It's design.
I think it's I think it's design. I think it's the engine the game runs on as well. And I
so
think
all of it really
just
just a full package?
right. And in the character design itself is just better. The only thing that makes Marvel Rivals better in the character design situation
It's
is the
familiarity.
fact that we're all homers and we know who these people are.
Yeah.
So when I log in, you know, and like for me, the most hero I have time on is Captain America. And when I get to go in there and just start slinging the shield and talking shit, as Rhino knows that I do, just get back there, scream, assemble, and just start putting shields in people's mouths. It's so fun because it's Captain
Yeah,
America.
because it's relatable.
But-
It's like what you said the other day about the Hulk special thing that he does.
Yes,
Like
his
that right
ultimate
there.
ability. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like stuff like that that just it's nods to the movies or nods to something in comics or some sort of style and skins because it's from your favorite movie or favorite cartoon or your
That thank you for so much
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
saying that the comments part too, because that's another area that Blizzard is just dominant in, because when you look at the interactions in Overwatch, you're never like, this person needs to shut the fuck up until
Yep.
you've heard it a billion times. In Marvel Rivals, if you don't know the MCU, you'll know it by playing Marvel Rivals, because every hero only quotes shit that's happened to them on
in the
TV,
movies.
and they say it 1,000 times.
Did you
Mhm.
say can't you?
Especially my boy Moon Knight. He would walk into an empty room and go, someone say, can't you? I mean,
What's the
Funny
one?
thing about can't you?
yeah.
Who's the one? I can't. It says it all the time when you play him. I can't remember what it is. I think
Who?
it's Doctor Strange. I
He-
can't remember.
That's just his alt. But in terms of talking to people, it's always something from the movie, and that gets on my nerves.
Oh, yeah.
Like Rockets is the worst. Rocket is, it's like James Gunn wrote Rocket's lines for this.
right, 100%. Same with the
How
Punisher
much for
too.
that on?
The Punisher's, you're right, right.
Yes.
The Punisher's
Yeah.
one note. The Punisher is one note in this game. He's just like, I don't care. I'm the Punisher. It's black and white. I'm going to kill them if they get in my way.
Where are the fresh ideas from Blizzard, though?
Right. Well, the fresh ideas are
Like,
the
if you
whole
talk
entire
about-
IP.
If you talk about gaming as from Blizzard from a whole,
Okay.
what do they have that's new?
Hold
They
on.
haven't released a good WoW in a long time.
That's not true.
But it's not what they're doing that's new. It's the
StarCraft-
fact that what they've been doing is still the best of what they do.
I was gonna say it's 2025.
Yeah.
Name me another company who's been running the same game for over 20 something years. And wow, wait, I'll wait.
You're not going to find
Final
it.
Fantasy,
Different
Okay.
iterations by different people done different ways.
And different
it's still
studios.
the same concept.
And different
of the
studios.
game.
But
But
that
that-
you're proving your own point
You're
wrong.
talking about them expanding on a game that came out over 20 years ago that is
So,
still
we
being
talk
played
about-
rapidly today.
we talk about Marvel Rivals. Why
Mhm.
can't Blizzard do a game like that? They have
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
It's basically the exact same game.
Overwatch is a hero shooter that
Literally, people who helped develop Overwatch 1 developed Marvel Rivals.
And here's another point. Blizzard is suing Marvel Rivals over how close their game
It's
is
like the
to
same game.
Overwatch.
And then the other thing too is I don't know if you know how Overwatch was born. Overwatch was actually born from IP that Blizzard
Yeah.
had that failed.
What's it
That
called? What's
they
it called?
didn't like.
It was the MMO.
They tried to make it MMO, and so they
Yeah.
just took all those guys and made this shooter just for funsies. Actually,
what
Yeah.
you're
It
talking
turned
about
out to
Heroes of
be
the Storm.
No,
no. It was
no,
called
this was a
something
scrapped IP. I forget the
Yeah.
name of
Was
it,
it
but
the
it was a
StarCraft
big
fighter?
MMO. No,
different. No, it was supposed to be an MMO, like where you play with a bunch of different characters and they do different things. Something similar to like in the world of a WoW before console.
I think it was more in this
Different.
vein of GTO or GTA.
yeah, something like that. is what
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be. And then out of that, they just messed around with this thing and they came out with.
I got a
again,
news
that
for
one game of
gaming
the year.
companies. I want some fresh ideas. I am sick and tired of rehashes and remakes. Give me something new.
Okay,
You
Well,
got-
hold on a second. What's a rehash or remake in the gaming industry?
I'm just sick and tired of playing the same shit over and over again.
Call
And
of
I want
Duty.
something new.
Call of Duty.
That was kind
But
of my
see, Call of Duty is it's a
No,
very tight
it.
niche, though. I mean, the people who play Call of Duty religiously aren't
About
looking for new.
first-person shooter
They're not
game.
looking for new shit. They just want shooters. That's it.
But to back Nello up here, he's not incorrect. Mario does the same thing all the time. It's always going to be Mario. Madden, any sports game is just the same exact
Repetitive,
game
but
with
same
one
three buttons.
minor minutiae upgrade to maybe some details on the graphics, and other than that, it's the same
You
exact
can see
game.
the pimple on his nose.
But like, now Mortal Kombat, all those games, they're all the same unless you get something like a God of War, which God of War to a certain degree is another rehash of other games, but so much more increased from what it used to be that almost feels like a different game. The only time I've seen that is with Gears of War, where it's all the same thing and then they finally gave it an open world. That is a refresh, but in the same universe. I agree, but the problem is, if you're going to send that email to, hey, I want some new games, some new IPs, send it to every movie studio.
Oh, no, everyone.
Send it to every record label. Send it to everything, because, I mean, nothing feels new anymore.
So just a real quick note on that, as far as like the repeats, Mortal Kombat is one that you just said, right? And that one like triggers me kind of, because think about it. Somebody who wants to play Mortal Kombat and sees that a new Mortal Kombat is coming out doesn't necessarily want to play a new version of Mortal Kombat. Like, they might want it, like, that's how and that's the same thing with, like, as somebody who died with a Super Nintendo.
I don't want to play Mortal Kombat anymore. I want to play the new fighter game.
You want to play something that's not Mortal Kombat. You want to play a brand new idea. I get
Thank
that.
you.
So, but like, I think that like what you're saying is like, I stopped playing Nintendo, video games basically with the Super Nintendo. Lots of reasons as to why I didn't really evolve with the controllers and the toggles and all that shit. But that's beside the point. If I jump in to play a Super Nintendo game, like, I want that nostalgia. I'm not a big fan of the new Mario games. I like Mario Kart because it's basically the same game that I played only on Super Nintendo.
Sure.
Like, if you want that nostalgia, then you're going to want something that's pretty much the same, only looks better, because you want to play it on the console that you now have that's 20 years older than the one that you used to play on.
Exactly.
However, I get your point in saying that you want to play something that's a brand new idea, and it's really hard to do that when we've expanded so far within not just the video game universe, but with movies, because like everything in movies is being redone now. It's like you get all the Disney movies that we've talked about in the past. They're making all these live actions. It's basically shot for shot from the cartoons. There's no original ideas anymore. And
Well, honestly,
I don't think it's that there's no more original ideas. I think it's the fact that people have spoken with their Call of Duty comes out, and every single year you buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You keep buying the same thing. Why am I gonna make something new?
Yeah.
Well, it is possible
$1
that you could be getting to a point where people are incapable of coming up with a new idea. I mean, there is the idea, there's a concept of an intellectual saturation point with humanity. It's the same with a technological saturation point. I mean, you get to a point where
how many times
the human brain is no longer capable of coming up with something new. We've come up with so many new ideas over the last 50 years. What more can you possibly do?
And I feel like we circle back to Nello's conspiracy theory.
I'm going to circle. I'm going to circle back to Ryan and say that he's 100% right about Fortnite, because Fortnite has now it's got jumping puzzles, it's got Fall Guys, it's got a racing game, it's got Guitar Hero, it's got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles side scroller that we played that was like the old school arcade game. That map is ever changing. We have
a soccer game you can play,
right? And now I'm looking forward to when May comes around, because I know that's when all the Star Wars stuff is going to join, and then you
Disney
can walk along
too,
the map, and find a portal that jets you out with a lightsaber, and all of a sudden you're Darth Maul, or you're somebody just jetting across the map killing people. I think Ryan is really, really onto something. Now, it's going to be hard to duplicate an IP like that, but man, if you're not onto something. Rhino and I played that game the other day, and he was freaking I don't know. He was a Star Wars guy, and I was some made-up character that I got from the thing. But then I could say, hey, let's switch it up, and I'll be the guy from Doom, and he'll be freaking Yurtis Abadadingus, or whatever his name is.
Yurtis Abadadingus.
What's his name?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That's exactly what I said. Okay. But like the fact that you can do that, the freedom that you get from Fortnite, if you're not looking for that competitive battle royale, like it's got almost everything.
I can't build though. these kids that are building, like, more power to you.
Zero bill.
That goes back to the are we too old for this shit? It's like,
Well,
dude, I may have the fourth wall of a box enclosed, and I look over and Trump Tower is being built next to me
I
by some
played
12-year-old.
Yeah.
I played builds last night, and this kid, like, I felt the same way. I'm like, I just made the like ground pattern. This guy's like 10 feet under, jumps down, starts blasting me with a shotgun, and I'm dead.
All I
was
know
like,
is
kick
I'm
the-
Holy
with Rhino
crap.
is I get one shot on the guy, and I'm super happy that I figured out how to get the wooden wall in front of me, and it's just the one panel. I throw it up there, and I like got him, and I look up, and they have the Death Star over
Yeah.
top of me.
and that's kind of honestly, it's funny going back to the point. That's the base game. That's what the game originally was. It was
That's the only reason why we started playing is because we found out they had a no build.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why we even tried it.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
why the game started was a tower defense.
Have you
game
seen
that
some of
didn't
these
do
kids
well.
like on Twitch? It's when they're building, it's like
I was gonna say your controller setup helps a little bit too,
Damn.
and the way you have it set up. But yeah, I'm not a builder. I don't play Fortnite. In that
He's not
capacity.
Bob the Builder, boys.
But I can respect it that they have been innovating on the same platform for 7 years, and it's
Ugh.
I think part of
They're
what Ryan was
killing it.
saying was that we need new characters. So I think that the alter ego guy, especially now that he's got a new face, he needs to be the next big thing. He needs to be the big.
He's
character.
got his own gaming studios.
Yes.
That's right.
What was it? Was it Black Man Gaming or something like that?
Yeah.
yeah.
What was it called?
I don't even remember what it was. Gaming?
Forgot your own company?
Geriatric gaming.
There it is.
Gaming.
Geriatric gaming, and there's an age restriction to get in. You got to be over 30 to be able to play.
About
Oh,
39.
I feel so gross.
Yeah. We're old.
That 40 is coming.
Oh my goodness. All
I'm the
right.
youngest.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, happy 2025. Alter Ego Podcast is late, but we're
back.
here. 183. Next week, episode 184. Thank you to Ryan, Rhino, Nello, Mrs. Austin there. Thank you so much for joining all of us here at the Alter Ego Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
I can't do that.